What's up, you guys? Shaun here. It's time for another trip down memory lane. So, in my last video in my schooling years series, I talked about my days in kindergarten. Well, now we're going to go from kindergarten to first grade. We're still here at Grace Community Church, which used to have a school back in the day, but not anymore, which is sad to say. So, after I graduated out of kindergarten, I moved to first grade. My first grade teacher, Mrs. Morningstar. I know she's watching these videos. And let me just say, Mrs. Morningstar class was fun. And right there was her classroom. J174. This used to have desks, but not anymore. It brings back a lot of memories because back in the day, I was in that classroom for first grade, and up against the these closets here, I was going to say dressers, but they're closets, what she used to do was she had 3 different plaques on those closets. One was a green sign, which said go. One was a yellow yield sign, and one was a red stop sign. Now, why do you think she had those up there? Well, it's simple. On these plaques, she put on a bunch of clothespins, and they each had our names on them. Now, on the clothespins, we all started off with green. The green meant that we were having a good day, or we were being good. If we got into trouble, even when we got into trouble once, we would have to move our clothespin to the yellow yield sign, which is not always good. However, if you were especially bad, you had to move it to the red stop sign. And usually, if you made it to the red stop sign, that'd be like the worst, obviously. And let me just say, there were a few times where I was on the yellow, and even on the red, unfortunately. But yes, this is the classroom. My desk, I believe, used to be more towards the far left area, where these little cabinets are. You can't see them because it's dark in there. But my desk was right there. And something very interesting happened in that classroom that is not a vague memory. It's basically nailed into my, or screwed into my memory for eternity. Round the end of the school year, I decided to do something fun. Well, at least I thought it was fun, but it turned out to be a big disaster. And that was to cut my own hair. Yeah, that wasn't a very smart move. So, what happened? What did I do? Well, I had a pair of small blue scissors on my desk, and I think I had just recently gotten a haircut, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give myself just a little bit of a trim. So what did I do? I grabbed those scissors, and I made sure no one was looking around, and I started cutting the right side of my head. And the hairs fell to the ground, and I was like, I'm cutting my hair. Little did I know that a couple days later, I had to take a photo of myself for the school yearbook. That's right, folks. For my first grade school yearbook, the right side of my head was cut badly. Here's a photo. It doesn't look so bad, but you can still tell there's a patch on the side of my head that I cut. It looked kind of bare. Let me just say that when my mom found out about it, she did not laugh one bit. She wasn't happy. I think that's one of the only times I've only seen her so upset when I was going to school. There have been other times where she's gotten upset before, but not this upset. Yikes. There was also a time when I guess, didn't have such a great day. My clothespin was on yield, and like I said, I wasn't having a great day, so in frustration, I picked up a piece of crayon that broke off on my desk, and I threw it up against that wall. It made a really loud clank. It went right up against the wall there, and little did I know, Mrs. Morningstar was watching me, When I turned to face her, she was staring right at me, and she told me to go move my clothespin. Yep, it landed on the red. Yep, bad. Now, there were some good times there in the classroom. I remember we had some moments where we would sit down together and she'd be reading a book to the class. I don't remember everything that would happen in the class because I was really young at that time, and I guess I was just goofing off a lot more often than I should. But it was a fun class. Mrs. Morningstar, I know you're watching these videos, but thank you for first grade for making it memorable. And I do remember playing handball numerous times up against the wall over here against the gymnasium. It's right out here. And I'm trying to think, did we have anything interesting? Well, when we would leave for school, every once in a while we would go out those doors and be picked up. Excuse me, but sometimes be picked up way down over here by the worship center. Now, where did we go to have lunch? In the beginning, I believe, was that we went out these doors, and they had set up over here a bunch of lunch tables. But as time went along, the lunch tables moved from over there to over there, which is now the Grace Walk. Now, of course, this wasn't here when I was coming to school. This is actually brand new. There used to be these big plants, like trees, along these sections here. There was like 3 of them. And I remember sometimes looking out these windows and seeing the desks, or the tables, folded up against the side here, right where these Christmas trees are. But none of this was here when I was going to school. And I remember I used to sit right in this area here because our classroom was right there. And there used to be an office right over here where this coffee shop is. Yes, there's a coffee shop here. Can you believe that? So yes, there's been some memorable moments here at school. And there were a lot more memories that came right down there when I was in 2nd grade. So when I was in 2nd grade, well, I'm getting ahead of myself because that's for a different video. I don't remember that many field trips when I was in 1st grade. I think we had a few, but not that many. I can't remember all of them, but I do remember some field trips from 2nd grade. And again, that's a story for another time. So once again, walking down memory lane here, right there, Mrs. Morningstar's class right there. And when I moved to 2nd grade, I believe she was here for a couple more years, or maybe a year, and then she moved to a different state. So I was sad to see her go, but I'll never forget my 1st grade class. And, you know, it was a little different moving from one classroom, from kindergarten to 1st grade. But, you know, that's called change. It's called life. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was somewhat entertaining, and that was from my experiences in 1st grade. And I'm trying to think, are there any other stories I can tell you about 1st grade? None that are coming to my head, but maybe if I think of something, I might mention it in my 2nd grade video. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching. End scene.